Hi Erica, how you doing?
Hey, Don. Good. How are you?
Good. Erica is one of the three firekeepers here in the Tepoztlán Sacred Fire community. So Erica, how did you come here? How long ago was it and why did you come to Tepoztlán?
Well, I came to Mexico from New York City 40 years ago.
Wow, it's a long time.
Lived in Cuernavaca, which was a small city at the time, for 7 years. And then I actually had this I just started crying all the time that I wanted to live in Tepoztlán. It was one of these very emotional, it was just like, I have to go live there. And eventually, I actually, left a husband, left a job, left quite a few things, but I made it here. But that was a long time before all of this appeared.
Yes. So why are you a firekeeper? What prompted you to do it?
Well, we were having fires in a very informal way, in a different place up in town. This is about 20 years ago, right? At that point. Um, and then somebody asked me, Jaime, the other firekeeper, there were no firekeepers at the time. Anybody asked me, would you like to be a firekeeper? Would you like to have a commitment with holding these fires? I think that's all he said. I don't remember there being a job description. And it was just, a hard call. It was like, yes, of course. I always loved fire. I always loved being around fire. But it, I remember that, was like, yes. Did I know what I was getting into? No. Have I made decisions like that in my life and they've worked out? Yes.
Good. Well, I think it's good for all of us that you did this. And what did you have to go through? The initiation must have been a process, right?
Right. So I think it was gradual. I think we probably received some kind of general instructions in the beginning. There was three of us, Jaime, Anna, and I. And I don't know that we even knew there were other people doing this in other places at the time. And I don't think there was any such thing as a sacred fire community at the time. Like it hadn't all come together yet. But eventually we had a training with David Wiley, and that was wonderful. And a kind of deepening and understanding, what was going on, what the possibilities of this being around. I mean,
Sure.
almost everybody loves to be around the fire. That was already wonderful, but it was this deepening. And by then we had had contact with Grandfather Fire, with this voice of fire speaks directly, and we were initiated later on. I don't, the timing.
So what are the duties or the role of the firekeeper?
Fire is heart, and we all have heart, and we all are heart. And the blessing of being around the fire, which people have sat around the fire forever. Human beings have always sat around the fire, and fire has always given us a tremendous amount. Is to be able to deepen and connect with our heart, and through our heart with everything. And we've all had that experience. When you're in contact with yourself, you can be in contact with others. You can feel the natural world. It's very. It
So
happens.
what's your
It
specific
happens.
role in fostering this?
You know, that's where what a lot of the training is about, is how to help ourselves and others stay in that connection, because we so quickly bounce out of it, and we're like explaining things and rationalizing things, and myself as much as anybody else, is what human mind does. Wants to control, wants to put things in a box. So for me, it always feels like a relief just to be able to come back to that place and help other people to come back to that place. And I mean, you've seen, it's amazing what comes up when we manage that,
Hmm.
you know. And then, then over the years, it's deepened to how do we work with conflict? How do we try to create a space that's neutral and where diversity is respected?
Yes.
And, stuff comes up. You've seen it.
Yeah.
Stuff comes up.
Uh-huh.
So there's been more and more training
Good.
in that sense.
Well, thank you very much, Erica. I appreciate your time and wisdom.